tonight.
Well, Stu, the jury decided that the company responsible for building the free fall ride should pay Tyre's family $310 million. It took less than 1 hour for the jury to reach the verdict. And we also heard from Sampson's family in the last hour as they share their reactions outside of the Orange County Courthouse. 7 men were seated this morning during jury selection. The family's attorneys were there, of course, but the defendant was not inside the courtroom. Funtime, the company behind the free fall ride, chose to not attend the trial. We're told in the beginning they were defending the case and sent engineers to ride inspections, but all of a sudden they withdrew, which surprised the family's attorneys. And there were a lot of tears during testimony today from Tyre's mom, dad, and older brother as they shared best memories they had of who they described to be their gentle giant. His dad saying today he never thought Tyre would not return home to Missouri from his spring break trip in Orlando when this happened more than 2 years ago. And despite the verdict, he adds, you cannot put a price tag on this loss.
I see why any kid want to come here and have fun, but why my child got to be the one? Ain't no money gonna solve this problem. It ain't gonna solve this problem. They putting a Band-Aid on it, maybe, but it ain't solve the problem. Every day I got to wake up and I still can't see him.
Now, the Tyre Sampson Act, which passed in Florida, helps increase safety for thrill rides, such as allowing inspections to show up unannounced. And that is something that Tyre's family says they want to see passed across the country, and because they don't want this kind of pain to be the experience of others. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Senega Rodriguez, WESH 2 News. Attorneys on the same team to help a grieving family find some closure.
We're going to ask for a significant verdict in the millions and millions and millions of dollars.
It's been more than 2 years since 14-year-old Tyre Sampson fell to his death from the free fall ride at Icon Park. A state investigation found that Tyre slipped out of the harness after his seat had been adjusted to handle the teen's large size.
The defendant was, it is admitted that the defendant was negligent in failing in certain duties.
During trial on Thursday, attorneys for Tyre's mom and dad said every defendant in the case has already settled lawsuits, except for Funtime, the Austrian-based manufacturer of the ride that is at the center of the civil case.
You know the one thing this ride didn't have? A seatbelt.
Attorneys say after Tyre's death, Funtime defended the case, sending engineers to ride inspections, but suddenly the company stopped responding and didn't show to court.
They didn't want to look at Nakia and look at Yarnell and explain why there was no seatbelt.
In their tearful testimony, the parents and Tyre's older brother shared memories of their gentle giant who loved football, art, and his family.
He was always a leader, always a leader. Every child that he came across looked up to him.
Well, I'm just gonna say like this, my family split up because of this. Should no parent bury their child. It's unnatural. It's not in the Bible, it's ungodly. To bury your child is something that, I lost something when I lost my child.
I just miss him just reaching out to me, you know. It almost feels like I was robbed of that, of being a big brother.
A national civil rights attorney Ben Crump is also inside the courtroom representing Tyre's dad. And this trial is to determine how much money the company has to pay to Tyre's family. So closing arguments are underway, and that means the jury can start deliberating pretty soon.
I was not there to protect him. I was not there to protect him. I couldn't see him. I couldn't hold him. I couldn't tell him, I got you. I couldn't tell him, I'm there for you. The same thing he would tell other people. I couldn't even tell my son that. Yes, that hurted me. I was crushed. I was devastated because I'm your mother. I'm supposed to protect you.
Now, during the trial, the jury also watched the horrific video that was captured the night Tyre fell to his death. And a state investigation found that he slipped out of his harness after his seat hadn't been adjusted to support his size. Now, again, we are hearing that a verdict is in. The judge just took the bench and the jurors returned inside the courtroom. As soon as we learn the verdict, we will share it with you. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Senega Rodriguez, WESH 2 News.